Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Yin Yoga class. Today we are focusing on today's class is a variety of poses that are intended to awaken your internal energy and recharge your energy. So while we are sitting and holding poses, yes, that can be very relaxing, but this sequence is intended to also, again, stir up and give you this renewed sense of energy from within. So if you haven't already, please grab whatever props you're going to be using today for your Yin Yoga practice. Pillows are always fine. I would get 1 or 2 pillows. And we're going to start today in a butterfly pose. So I'm going to grab my phone so I can time. Just a reminder, if you haven't taken a Yin Yoga class before, we do hold the poses for time. So there's no flow, there's no movement. We just enter into a pose, find our comfortable edge, and sit in the pose for time to get deeper into those intrinsic to the joints and getting deeper beyond the muscles so that we can lubricate the joints. So I'll be talking about it during our practice today, but today we're going to start in butterfly. So grabbing whatever prop you're going to use for support, we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. We'll take a deep inhale here at center, and then on the exhale, we're going to round the spine down. So you can just hold here, or you can use a prop by bringing the floor closer, and you can relax on the prop. So if you have a bolster at home or a pillow, taking a deep inhale and folding forward into your expression and supported version of the pose today. So always an option to use support or not. Or even as we're holding, if you decide you need a little extra support to bring the floor higher, you can always modify as needed. So again, Yin Yoga, very different than traditional asana flow practice. In Yin Yoga, we are holding the pose for time. So again, we find that comfortable edge and we resolve to hold, really challenging our minds, our bodies, and our breath. So as we hold pose, when we're sitting still, it's easy to allow the mind to wander. So during our Yin Yoga practice, it's really important to focus on your mindfulness practices. First and foremost, beginning with the breath. So bringing your focus and awareness to your breath as you hold the pose. When we focus on our breath, it brings us back to the present moment. So using that as a tool throughout your practice today. You can also introduce a mantra. I like so hum. So on the inhales, either aloud or in your head, you'll chant so. And on the exhales, chanting hum. So introducing a mantra is another way to stay present. But the breath is the most powerful tool to bring you to the present moment. So Yin Yoga goes beyond the muscle. So we're getting out of our habitual range of motion by holding the pose, getting into the deeper layers of the body, and activating the synovial fluid within the joints. This fluid decreases as we age, and as we are all aging, we are all experiencing that decreased synovial fluid to our joints. So our yin again goes deeper beyond the muscle and stimulates this fluid to be released so that we can experience more mobility in our lives. And today's sequence is a variety of poses that are intended to reawaken our internal energy. So we'll be focusing on hips, lower back. We have a twist. And then the nice one to open up the chest and shoulders. So we're targeting pretty much every area of the body in our practice today. A few more rounds of breath here. On the next inhale, very slowly using your arms to push yourself out of the position. From here, we're going to very gently come onto our bellies. And we're going to go into Sphinx pose. So from here, we'll place the forearms underneath the shoulders. And then on the inhale, we're going to press all the way up. Holding here, always an option. You can always do this over a bolster or just relax here on a pillow like that. So just listening to your body. Again, finding that comfortable edge. So you may feel discomfort, but you should never feel pain. And we will hold for time. So inhale, really pressing in to the forearms. And then on the exhale, allowing yourself to sink into the pose. So in traditional Sphinx pose, we're really pressing up and it's an active pose, activating the glutes. Here, we really want you on the exhale just to settle into the pose and release the contracted muscles. So just settling in. Shoulders should still drop naturally from the ears, but we're not activating our muscles here. This is a really great opening for the lower back, the chest. Breathing here. Now, during our yin yoga practice, I invite you to keep your eyes closed during the entire practice. Of course, opening it during transitions if needed. But this just allows us and invites us to bring our awareness within and really tap into and connect with our breath. Another mindfulness technique is adding a count to your breath. So you could add a count to 5 and have the inhales match the exhales. So inhaling for 5 and exhaling for 5. Whatever number works for you. You can also add a color to the breath, let's say yellow. And on the inhales, sending your breath all the way down with the color yellow. So following this yellow light into the body as you inhale. And then on the exhales, watching that light release back out into the world. So just multiple mindfulness techniques to keep you in the present moment and keep your awareness within as we align mind, body, heart, and breath in this moment. We can also use this time for self-reflection. Scanning your life and asking yourself, what is getting in the way of me being the highest, happiest, and healthiest expression of myself in this moment? And then thinking of anything, any thoughts, any people, any unhealthy habits that aren't serving you. And focusing on the release. Two more rounds of breath here. We're going to slowly release, just bringing the chin down. And we're going to slightly press, use our arms to press ourselves up and just do a quick counter stretch. So shifting the weight all the way back, arms release in front of us, just kind of a modified child's pose. Taking a few cleansing breaths here. Then we're going into open wing pose. So coming back onto our bellies. We'll begin with the left arm. We're going to come on our bellies. Left arm is going to come all the way out straight from the shoulder. So this may be your full pose today. The next step is to shift our weight to our left hip. Right leg bends here. And then tucking in the left leg so that the feet are together. We'll leave the head down. And then the right arm will be tented, holding up. So I'll go sideways so you guys can see me. Sorry. So opposite arm is here, holding for support. So again, onto the belly, left arm extends, right arm is by your side, supporting, head is down. We'll shift the body over onto our left hip, bending at both knees, and we'll hold here for time. So the count begins now. So just feeling that opening through the shoulder, and the slight twist. We'll rest here, holding for time. If this is feeling too intense, you can always bring the knees together to lessen, it'll lessen the pressure. And make sure you're always using that opposite hand. So just pressing lightly off the fingertips or hand planted into the ground. Holding here, bringing awareness back to the breath. Sending breath to the area where you feel the stretch. Again, we should never experience pain. Just getting ourselves to that comfortable edge. And just notice what you do when you experience discomfort. Do you immediately get out of the pose? Do you judge yourself or go into a negative thought pattern? Or do you honor your body, honor where you're at, slightly modify and find the expression of this pose that works for you today? Gently scanning the body and ensure that you're not activating any muscles and allowing yourself to melt toward the ground and be supported by the earth beneath you. And then practicing whatever mindfulness tool with the breath, visualization, self-reflection, introducing a mantra to keep your mind, body, and heart present on your mat. Continuing to breathe through Any discomfort you may be feeling, again, listening to your body. We'll be here for a few more rounds of breath. On the inhale, we'll slowly roll back onto our belly, releasing the left arm by your side and just shaking it out, maybe moving the fingertips. And then from here, we'll go on to the other side. So this time, right arm will extend directly out of the shoulder. We're going to shift our weight onto our right hip. Head stays down. Left fingers will tent or plant on the ground. And then we'll bend the knees and pop up the left leg. And time begins now. So again, if this is too deep for you, you can always bring the knees together. And that'll lessen the stretch through the shoulder. But once you've found your version of the pose today, gently closing the eyes, bringing awareness back to the breath. Taking slow, mindful, nourishing breaths. Again, maybe asking yourself, what do I do when I feel a slight discomfort in my life? Do you run away from discomfort the moment you feel it? When you are cold, do you immediately rush to warm yourself or go inside? When you are hot, do you immediately rush to cool yourself? When you have a conflict or you're confronted with confrontation or an uncomfortable conversation, do you run? Do you avoid? Or do you choose to sit with and embrace the discomfort? Can you use and tap into the power of your breath to ground you so that you can approach and embrace the discomfort and approach it with grace and with love? Can you encourage yourself to have those uncomfortable conversations from a place of grounded energy and loving energy? Or do you run? So allowing your yin yoga practice to be just that, a practice on your mat of understanding and illuminating your relationship to discomfort. And then using the tools that we practice here on our mat and the strength that we discover that we have within, and taking that off your mat and into your life so that you can more gracefully navigate discomfort with your breath as your guide. So allowing your breath to guide you into peace and groundedness, even when you may be feeling off or uncomfortable. A few more rounds of breath here. On the next exhale, very, very slowly and mindfully rolling back onto your belly. We'll reach the arms behind and again, just shake them out. And then placing the hands under the chest, we'll very, very slowly press back into a child's pose. And let's do traditional child's pose, bringing the arms by your sides, palms facing up. Knees are slightly more together than apart. Bringing forehead to the mat. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose and release with a long, audible sigh. One more deep breath in through the nose. Release with a sigh. And very slowly and mindfully coming onto all fours. From here, we're going into sleeping swan, otherwise known as pigeon pose. So from all fours, we'll just come forward with the right leg. So bringing it just directly behind the wrists. We're going to walk the back knee back slightly, untuck the back toes, and ensure that the back leg is straight. From here, grabbing prop, so pillow or bolster. We do want to be supported in this version today. So getting your prop or your pillow or two pillows, stacking that up, and then slowly coming forward, turning onto your cheek. So again, in this version of Sleeping Swan, in Yin, we want to use our props and allow ourselves to be supported so that we're not engaging our muscles. So just doing the contrast for a moment, I want you to engage your muscles of the glutes. And then slowly release, allowing your breath to support you in that release. And we'll begin with the time. So in Yin, we allow ourselves to be supported so that we can surrender into the pose. So releasing any contracted muscles, releasing control, and allowing ourselves to surrender. The concept of surrender is difficult to many of us out there, especially those of us who like to have control. We like to have certainty. So again, allowing this practice of release and surrender on our mats so that we can then practice this in our lives off of our mats. Letting go of control. Surrendering to the path as it unfolds before us, trusting that we are supported. Bringing awareness back to the breath. Again, breathing through any discomfort you may be feeling, knowing that what's on the other side of the discomfort is everything that you desire. In our physical Yin practice, what's on the other side of the discomfort is increased mobility, flexibility, ease, and health in our bodies. And what's on the other side of discomfort off of our mats is everything we've ever wanted. So learning to sit with and embrace the discomfort, knowing that what's on the other side is a stronger, more powerful, and authentic version of who you are. What's on the other side is you. Many people are not willing to sit in the discomfort long enough to get to the benefit, to get to the celebration. So I encourage you all to look at the areas in your life where you can maybe sit a little bit longer in that discomfort to get to the other side. A few more rounds of breath here. On the inhale, slowly and very mindfully coming out of the pose, pressing hands into the ground. We'll lift our chest and then we'll send the leg back in a quick counter stretch between both sides, shifting hips back, bringing the forehead down to the mat. We'll take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, slowly coming up, and we'll come on to the other side. So this time the left leg comes behind the wrists, untucking the back toes, walking the knee back, placing your props in front of you, and then very slowly, mindfully lowering down, this time opposite cheek, right cheek comes to the prop, hands by your sides. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Release with a sigh, allowing yourself to surrender into the pose. And again, taking that contrast, we'll clench the muscles of the seat. So clenching the glutes or activating the glutes. Deep breath in here. And then as we release, releasing the muscles, releasing the contraction or the holding on and letting go. Again, allowing ourselves to be supported by the props and the earth beneath us. Trusting that when we let go, we are supported on our journey. There is strength in surrender. There is courage in trusting and letting go of control. Tapping back into the breath, sending breath all the way down the spine to the area where you feel the stretch. Sending breath and love to the discomfort. I'm going to silence my voice for the remainder of this pose, allowing you to practice your mindfulness techniques. A few more rounds of breath here. On your next inhale, very slowly and mindfully, using your hands, coming up slowly with the chest first. Then we'll shift the leg back, going into that modified child's pose counter stretch, just bringing the hips back, forehead down to the mat. Taking a deep breath in here, slowly releasing. Then we're very slowly going to come onto our back. So removing the props from your mat. We'll slowly make our way down onto our backs. Tucking the knees into the chest. Taking a deep inhale at center. On the exhale, allowing the knees to fall to the right hand side, ending with a spinal twist. Left arm reaches behind. Gaze follows the extended arm. Continuing to breathe, allowing each cycle of breath to release any stagnant or stale energy, anything that the body, mind, or heart no longer needs. And with that release, allowing yourself to invite in the new refreshed energy of peace. If your eyes aren't closed, I invite you to close the eyes for these final positions, keeping the awareness within. On the inhale, gently bring the legs back to center, knees into chest. On the exhale, allowing them to fall to the left-hand side. Right arm releases behind. Gaze follows the extended arm. And settling in here. Feeling the opening through the shoulder, the twist through the spine, and the release of toxins, of negative energy. Again, allowing the release to open up a peaceful space within. Inviting new and refreshed energy. A few more rounds of breath here. On the next inhale, slowly bringing knees to center, extending the legs out in front and the arms up ahead. We'll take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose and release with a sigh. One more deep breath in through the nose. Release with a sigh. And then if you're feeling like it, I invite you to stay here in Shavasana. I am going to end class, so if you don't have time for Shavasana, we'll keep the eyes closed, coming up to a comfortable seated position. Spine is tall, crown of the head reaching toward the sky. We'll place palms on our laps, facing up and open as a gesture of receiving. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Release with a sigh. And just taking these final moments to receive the benefits of our yin practice today. Feeling both the strength in the body and the peace. Connecting to this internal vibration that is pulsing through your body. This vibration and energy of peace, of calming, relaxation, and grounding. A vibration that is connected and in sync with Mother Earth and with nature. And allowing this peaceful vibration to be carried with you off your mat and taking it into the rest of your day, your week, or weekend. And allowing yourself to stay grounded in peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining. I just feel like I am in a bubble of bliss and peace right now. So again, always encouraging you and welcoming you to finish in Shavasana. If you have some extra time, and just soak up this beautiful, vibrant energy of bliss and peace and all yummy things. Namaste. Sending you all lots of love.